Today I'm going to show you how I make luxury butter bath bombs from scratch. So the first ingredient that we're going to be using is baking soda. I'm going to take my bowl, put it on my scale, then I'm going to add my sifter, and then I'm going to tare my scale to 0, and I'm going to be using ounces. So as we add our baking soda to the sifter, baking soda is the backbone of your bath bomb. It softens the bath water, it helps to soothe irritated and dry skin, and it also acts as the base of the reaction that creates the fizz. A fun fact, baking soda has been used for over 150 years in cleaning, deodorizing, and even calming minor skin irritations. Without baking soda, you don't have a bath bomb. You just have scented powder. So it provides structure, bulk, and it also helps with the soft feel of the bath water. Now, as you can see, I am sifting my ingredients. Sifting removes the clumps, it helps to prevent weak spots, and it ensures that every ingredient gets evenly distributed. If one of the ingredients clumps in one area, that section of your bath bomb might fizz unevenly or crack while drying. So sifting creates the smoother, more professional results. And it just helps to get out all of the little teeny tiny things that you don't want in your bath bomb. So our next ingredient is going to be citric acid. Now, citric acid is what creates the magic in your bath bomb. When baking soda and citric acid hit water, they react in what's called an acid-base reaction, releasing the carbon dioxide. That gas is what creates the fizzing bubbles. So it is literally a little science experiment in your bathtub. Citric acid also helps to balance the pH of the water so it feels comfortable on your skin. The ratio of baking soda to citric acid determines how dramatic and how long the fizz lasts. I like to use a 1:2 ratio, which means if I use 30 ounces of baking soda, I will use half of that amount of citric acid. A fun fact is that the modern bath bomb was popularized in 1989 by a lady named Mo Constantine. She is the co-founder of Lush Cosmetics, and she was inspired by the Alka-Seltzer tablets. The next ingredient that I'm going to add is SLSA, which stands for sodium lauryl sulfonyl acetate. This ingredient creates the bubbles and the foam, and it gives your bath bomb the luxurious spa-like experience. It's important to wear a mask while you're working with SLSA because it is an extremely fine powder and it becomes airborne very easily. Protecting your lungs is important when working with cosmetic powders. It's not the same as SLS. It's a mild coconut-derived surfactant used in bath products, but when used properly, it gives you the soft, creamy foam that makes the bath feel spa-like. The next ingredient that I add is cornstarch. Cornstarch makes your bath water feel silky and soft. It slows down the fizz slightly so your bath bomb lasts longer instead of dissolving instantly. It also helps stabilize the mixture and it gives that milky bath feel. Cornstarch has been used in skin care for generations to soothe irritated skin. After that, I add cream of tartar. Cream of tartar is a stabilizer and a hardener, and it helps your bath bomb dry stronger and more durable. If you've ever made a bath bomb that crack or crumble easily, adding cream of tartar improves that. It also slightly alters the texture of the fizz, making it smoother and more refined. Now in my bath bombs, I choose to use cocoa butter. I really like cocoa butter because it's deeply moisturizing and because it contains fatty acids that help create a protective barrier on the skin. It also helps to harden the bath bomb as it cools and solidifies. Cocoa butter melts at body temperature, which means that it softens beautifully in warm bath water and it coats the skin without feeling greasy. I like to use the cocoa butter chips, which melt easily in the microwave. Now that my cocoa butter is melted, I'm going to add sweet almond oil. Sweet almond oil is lightweight and it's rich in vitamin E. It softens and conditions the skin without clogging the pores, and it also helps bind the dry ingredients together. One of the more important ingredients in bath bombs is polysorbate 80. This ingredient is an emulsifier, which means it binds the oil to the water. Without it, the oils float on top of the bath water and they leave a ring around your tub. With it, everything disperses evenly throughout the bath. It also helps the mica colors spread smoothly instead of clumping. The fragrance that I'm using today is Lotus and Willow from Crafter's Choice. Fragrance creates the emotional experience of a bath. Scent is directly connected to memory. When I was young, I used bath fizzies, and I remember the scent filling the bathroom and instantly creating calm. That emotional connection is powerful, and that's part of why I started my business. Finally, I use rubbing alcohol to help bind the mixture. Alcohol evaporates quickly, making it ideal for bath bomb formulations. Water would activate the citric acid reaction too soon. Alcohol gives it just enough moisture to hold everything together without triggering a fizzing during the mixing process. Now it's time to add everything to the mixer. I add the dry ingredients, then I add the wet ingredients. Once I start the mixture, you'll notice that there is powder that's starting to float into the air. This is when we're going to add a hand towel over the mixture so that it will contain all of the powder within and not let it get into the air. I did speed this up a little bit to help with the process because it does take quite a long time for it to mix properly. When squeezed in your hand, the bath bomb mixture should hold its shape but not feel too wet. Too much moisture can cause cracks while drying, and too little moisture will cause crumbling. I personally think that the best mixture is when it feels like play sand, to where it forms to a shape but it's not too hard. So now I have gathered 2 bowls and I'm going to divide the mixture into 2 even bowls so that we have the same amount of mixture to use for each color that we're choosing. The colors that I've chosen today are purple and yellow. I think those two are going to be beautiful with our Lotus and Willow fragrance. I'm just going to eyeball the amount of color that I want to use in each bowl, and I will be mixing by hand. I'm going to focus on making sure that we get all of the color mixed with the bath bomb mixture so that there are no streaks or color spots in each mixing bowl. So now it's time to make the bath bombs. I am using a 2-piece spherical mold, and the key is to work gently and let the texture of the mixture do the work for you. I scoop the bath bomb mixture into each part of the mold, slightly overfilling each side just enough so there's a soft mound on top. When I bring the mold halves together, I press them straight towards each other with a steady, even pressure. I don't twist or rotate the mold. To release the mold, I gently tap on one side of the mold to loosen it and carefully lift the mold away. If the moisture level is correct, the bath bomb will release cleanly, hold its shape, and have a smooth, even surface. And there you go. There's your beautiful bath bomb. You'll continue this process until all of your bath bomb mixture is gone. From here, it needs to dry in a low humidity area for at least 24 hours so it can fully harden before packaging or use. I put my bath bombs on foam padding on a baking sheet to dry for 24 to 48 hours. The foam prevents the flat spots and allows air circulation around the bottom. And here's the finished Lotus and Willow Butter Bath Bomb after it's dried and set. I really love how the colors turned out, and the fragrance is absolutely beautiful. Now let's see how it fizzes. I dropped it in a bowl of water here so you can see the reaction and how nicely it dissolves. This is always my favorite part, watching the bath bomb fizz and release all of those ingredients. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe for more videos about bath products, cooking, chickens, and life here on the prairie. I'll see you in the next video.